Chapter 4 The Mountain Peak Secret. The summit was within reach, but none of us expected to find what we did when we got there. We had been preparing for this climb for months, my friends and I. Trevor, Lucas, Mia, and I had always been drawn to the unknown, and when we stumbled upon reports of an untouched mountain in the northern range, the decision to climb it was easy. It had been years since anyone had attempted the summit. The mountain was jagged, wild, and unforgiving, and the weather reports rarely came back favorable. Yet something about it called to us. We made it to base camp without issue. The weather was oddly cooperative, as if the mountain itself wanted to let us conquer it. After weeks of trekking through dense forests and steep, treacherous paths, we finally found ourselves nearing the top. At that point, all the tension in our bodies began to ease, excitement blooming with every step. The wind was picking up, and the higher we climbed, the quieter everything seemed. The world below us was fading. Then we saw it. A small, isolated encampment nestled against a rocky outcrop on the summit. No one had mentioned it in any of the reports we'd read. No photographs, no references to its existence. It shouldn't have been there. "What the hell is that?" Mia muttered, pausing as she looked at the small cluster of tents. "Not sure," Trevor said, his voice uncertain, "but it doesn't look like anyone's been here for a while." The campsite appeared abandoned. There were no signs of life, no food, no gear. The tents were old, their canvas faded and frayed from the elements, yet everything was eerily well preserved, as though it had been left behind in a hurry. "It's like someone just up and left," Lucas said. He was the most cautious of the group, always keeping an eye on our surroundings, but even he seemed intrigued. We approached cautiously, our breaths visible in the cold air. The closer we got, the more we noticed strange details, the odd arrangement of the tents, the scattered equipment that didn't quite make sense, the unfamiliar symbols scratched into the dirt. Trevor crouched near a nearby tent, his gloved hands pushing back the fabric. "Look at this," he called to us. His voice was low, but there was excitement in it. We all gathered around him as he motioned to the inside of the tent. It was empty, but something about the ground inside was unusual. The dirt was disturbed, and what appeared to be scorch marks were scattered across the floor. "It looks like something or someone was dragged out of here," Mia said, her voice strained with unease. Lucas shook his head. "This doesn't feel right. We should have turned back when we saw the camp." But curiosity had already taken hold. I pushed forward, stepping inside one of the nearby tents. There, resting on the ground, was a collection of odd-looking tools. They were metal, smooth, polished, but unlike anything I had ever seen before. They didn't resemble climbing gear or survival equipment. They had an almost biological look to them, as though they had been grown rather than forged. "What the hell is all this stuff?" Trevor asked, his tone now of dread. "I think this was an experimental camp," I said slowly, piecing things together. The markings, the strange equipment, the lack of any typical survival gear, it was all pointing to something that wasn't right. Then a noise broke through the tension, a soft clicking sound, like someone or something was moving through the rocks around us. I spun around, my heart racing. "Did you hear that?" There was no answer. Mia, her face pale, was staring out at the rock face behind us. From the shadows, the first one emerged. A tall figure, human in shape but wrong. Its skin was pale, stretched over elongated bones. Its eyes, huge and glassy, reflected the fading light like mirrors. It walked slowly, its movements deliberate, its gaze fixed on us with an intensity that made my blood run cold. Mia gasped. "What the hell is that thing?" I couldn't find words. The creature was too strange to be real. It walked with an unsettling fluidity, its arms long and narrow. It looked almost human, but not quite. It stopped just a few feet away, tilting its head as though studying us. Then it spoke. "Don't be afraid," it said, the words slow and deliberate. "We are the ones who were forgotten, left behind. We were not meant to be abandoned." Its words were cryptic, but they filled me with dread. I glanced back at the others. Trevor's face was pale. Lucas's eyes were wide with fear. And Mia seemed entranced, her gaze locked on the creature. "Where did you come from?" I managed to ask, my voice shaking. "We were part of an experiment," the creature replied, its voice growing softer. "An experiment to merge the worlds, to bring two realities together." It hesitated, its eyes scanning us as if weighing whether or not to continue. "We were the result of a project, one that went horribly wrong. You are the first to reach this place, and now you are part of what remains. The process is incomplete." A chill ran through me. The coldness in the air deepened. More figures emerged from the shadows. 4, 5, then a dozen more. They were humanoid, but their unsettling features became more apparent. Long, thin limbs, pale, almost translucent skin, eyes that glowed faintly in the darkening light. They didn't speak. They moved silently, surrounding us. "We were never meant to be left here," one of the creatures whispered, "but now we are awake." My heart pounded in my chest. "What do you want from us?" I asked, the words tumbling out before I could stop them. "You have to help us finish what we started," it said, its voice gentle, almost pleading. "Help us complete the transformation." I recoiled. "What transformation? What are you talking about?" The creature's eyes darkened. Its voice dropped to a menacing tone. "You have no choice. The process will be completed, whether you help us or not." Suddenly, everything changed. The creatures closed in, their movements faster than I thought possible. Mia screamed, but her voice was lost in the strange clicking noises that filled the air. Trevor tried to push forward, but one of the creatures caught his arm with inhuman strength. They weren't just trying to capture us, they were transforming us. "We'll make you like us," one of the creatures whispered. "You'll understand soon enough. You'll help us, or you'll become part of us." My vision blurred, the shadows closed in, and in that moment I realized the truth. There was no escape. The transformation had already begun.
Thank you for listening to this story. Your support means a lot and helps keep these tales coming. If you enjoyed it, please take a moment to subscribe and follow for more dark and immersive stories just like this one. New horrors await. Don't miss what's coming next.